Hello, this is my most updated design for a bench and table farm on Wood Factory Town Tycoon on Roblox. It is extremely intermediately friendly. It is lossless, self-correcting, engineless. It requires no engines in the entire process. And it's super compact. You could probably fit this on one plot square using the least amount of materials as possible. It is great to bridge from that beginner stage to the intermediate stage so you can constantly be making money. The unloading and loading area is right here in the same spot, so you don't have to move your cart around. You just pull up, unload all of your stuff, and then you can just reload all the products afterwards. And as long as you don't fill this with like 100 logs at once, it'll work completely fine. So it's not exactly friendly with the fastest filling log setup possible, but as an intermediate level, it's perfect. I'm gonna get into the explanation and a in-depth tutorial. Alright, starting it off with the unloading station, you'll pull up to here with your cart full of either nails and logs or both. They will get taken out and put onto this pink conveyor system. Right here there is a wooden wall to correct the angle of any logs placed in, because oftentimes there is an issue with the splitters. So all the logs will go here into this first splitter after passing over this wood saw. The wood saw will turn all the logs into pillars, and the pillars will hit the splitter. Half of them will go left to turn into boxes up above, and half of them will go to the right to go into these carpenters. So over to the right, it hits another splitter. Half the pillars go into making wood benches. The other half go right parallel with it, making wood tables. The other option is that the pillars come over here and then go up, get split into planks, and are turned into wood frames. The nails also get picked up when they come through this purple. Right here, the nails will get picked up by this sorter and put in along with this conveyor. Everything gets picked up and goes into here. After all the wood frames are built, it goes into another splitter where half of them turn into benches and the other half turn into tables. These two products are then collected right here, go back into this purple looping system, and are collected. So both the benches and tables are right here. Just set that to item box. Over time, because it requires a 4:4 ratio, when you split the pillars into planks, they turn into 3 planks instead of 4. So over time, you'll have extra pillars. So how we account for that is we set this to any item. And then right here, there's a pillar picker-upper, this item sorter. So once your farm starts to produce excess pillars, it will get collected right here. And then in the future, if you want to start using those pillars, you can set this to low, and all the pillars, or however many you want, will be ejected into this buffer and put back into the box making system. And just like that, you have a completely self-correcting, lossless, engineless, and compact table and bench farm. Here's the list of buildings you're going to need. You'll need 2 wood saws, 3 carpenters, 6 sorters, 4 conveyor corners, 3 splitters, 1 T-joint, 2 short conveyors, 1 normal conveyor, 1 buffer, 1 transport unloader, 1 half logs wall, 1 storage rack, and 2 storage barrels. Alright, first we're going to start with our transport unloader. And the way I have it set up, I'm going to drive in from over here with all of my supplies in through right here in order to come around and leave. So I'm going to be facing it this way. The loop will start right here. It goes straight into a conveyor corner, and then into a wood saw. And then this wood saw is going to be going into a splitter. Make sure it cuts into the splitter a little bit. In order to place it into the splitter, you're going to move the splitter over by 1. Then when you go to put the saw in, it'll just scoot it in a little bit, just like that. And then we're going to place our T-joint right here, just like that. Alright, for this conveyor sorter, we're going to line it up just like so, so it's on the same axis. Then we're going to count over by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bang. Alright, now we're going to place our wooden saw on top. Don't forget to make sure that this is facing the right way and set to all items. So we're going to set this to normal, set to any item. So now it's going this way. And then you're going to place your carpenter right here. And now what you want to do is get this sorter, move it over just by 1. And then connect this saw to it. So now the saw is a little bit inside the carpenter, and then you're going to move the sorter over just one more time, so the sorter is a little bit inside of the saw, just like that. This is so that the top lines up with the bottom. Continuing the bottom, After this splitter, we're going to place a conveyor going into a short conveyor, going into another splitter. For these two carpenters, you're going to have them one away from this splitter. So when you go to place them, just go boop, just like that. And this one will align right next to it, like that. So this will be your table and your bench. For the second carpenter, you're going to put a short conveyor, and then you're going to attach another conveyor sorter right on top of it. And then you'll need a corner right here. Half of these materials go right into this sorter. Set it to any item, make sure it's going the right way. Perfect. You'll need to put another splitter right on top right here. So the boxes fall into right here and fall down there. And then the pillars go through here and over here. This is the perfect 1-to-1 ratio. Just to make sure, we're going to take this corner and we're going to turn on the high walls so it doesn't miss anything. Coming over here, we're going to grab a conveyor sorter and we want to clip it in by 1. This way it's right in between these two carpenters and it can collect everything, including the boxes and the extra pillars. We'll set it to any item, make sure it's going this way. Now we're almost done. The last part is to account for the pillar and the collection system. For this next part, we need to put the conveyor buffer in the air right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab our corner first to line it up. Grab our sorter just to see where it lines up. So that's not lined up. Let's move it over by 1. You can see it's right on this edge. Now we're going to take the corner out, move this sorter over to where it's meeting itself, and now we're going to place the buffer into it. Perfect. Move the sorter out of the way. Now we can put the corner in. We'll turn the high walls on, and then we'll place the sorter inside of this conveyor. Just go into the conveyor, go over by 2, 1, 2, and it'll turn green, and then you can place it. Set it to nails and make sure it's going the right way. There we go. Now grab your last corner piece and attach it to this buffer right here. Make sure it's going the right way. And then you're going to place a storage rack to store extra pillars right here. And then you're going to get a conveyor sorter and you're going to place it underneath this storage rack, going into it. Like that. And set this to making pillars. And it should be just perfectly far away that when it grabs a pillar right here, it will fall into this cavity. Then lastly, we just need to collect our benches and tables. Pick up this sorter, line it up, scoot it almost as close as we can, like that. You want that leg to be barely in the conveyor system. And then just set this to building boxes. Now you can put your 2 barrels over here, just like that. And then lastly, we need to place this half logs wall. Like I said before, sometimes the logs don't line up perfectly and the splitter won't move the log over. So all we want to do is move the log a little bit. So when we assemble this, we're gonna see this turn right here. We just want to place something right here so it turns a little bit more. We're gonna turn our grid size off for this in the top right. And we're just gonna go a little bit back, a little bit in to where it says green. Click. Now you're officially done with the farm. Optionally, you can color it just to better understand it. I'm going to go ahead and color code everything, and then we can test the farm and see if it works. Alright, I went ahead and color coded everything. It's important to mention the timings for this transport unloader. You want to set the timer to at least 7, and then for the buffer, you'll want to do the same. This is just so that the system doesn't overflow and get clogged. It's because these wood saws only work so fast. Since we're trying to do all the base building blocks, this wood saw can only process things so fast, so you want these timings set in place. The purple represents all the pillars going through the system and the pillars used to craft. The blue represents all the wooden frames or the boxes being made and any pillars going into that box system or any nails going into the box system. And then the green represents collection. I went ahead and got a few nails and 20 logs. We're gonna pull up right here, park, turn it on, and see how the farm does. Alright, there's the last product being made. It goes in. Here comes the wood bench. Look at that distribution. 50-50. And just like that, the farm is finished. This really is the best design that I could come up with. It's super compact. It's kind of difficult to build, but I think it's definitely worth it. If you're trying to get into that intermediate level of starting to produce things more automatically, this is perfect. I hope this helps you make more progress in the game, maybe have more fun, maybe build your own farms while you're doing it. Anyway, thanks for watching.